Yo, yo, yo. What's the dealio, y'all? What's the dealio, man? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? It's Sunday, so you already know what time it is, man. We got the watch list popping off, y'all. We got the watch list popping off, y'all. Look, if you tapping in, if you tuning in, man, let me know who's tuning in the comments, all right? Say what's up in the comments. Let me know who's tuning in. All right, let me know where y'all tuning in from. And also like this video, y'all. Like this video. Shiley, what's up? What's up? Best Beezy. What up? What up? Let's go. Yeah, Sunday, man. We're gonna lock in. We got football later on. We got football all day today, but yeah. Football Uncharted, man. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Y'all having a great weekend, all right? We about to get it cracking. Okay, we about to get it cracking. So yeah. So listen, Genesis. What up, Genesis? How you feeling? QTZ. What's up, QTZ? We got DC in the house. Who we got? Genesis in the house. I know you in Ohio. Best Beezy. We got Pittsburgh. We got Georgia in the house. Hey, y'all, be sure like this video, okay? If you guys are tuning in, tapping in, like this video. By the end of this video, let's make sure this live video is at 100 likes, okay? So we got 1 hour to get to 100 likes. All right, I usually take these videos, about these lives, it takes about an hour to be able to go through everything that I want to go through, okay? Y'all know I'm going to give you guys levels. Y'all know I'm going to break everything down for you, all right? I'm not going to be stingy. I'm not going to gatekeep, all right? So don't be stingy with y'all's engagement. Like this video for me, all right? And let's keep this thing going up. All right, what's up, Pam? How you feeling? What's up, Dress? All right, so this week, first things first, y'all. First things first. If you ready to have a great week, I want you to put it in the comments, all right? This week is going to be massive. This week is going to be explosive, all right? So if you ready to have a monster week, I want you to put monster in the comments, okay? Because we about to get some money this week, y'all. All right? Y'all know I'm going to share the setups with you guys. I'm going to break everything down. All right? What's up? We got North Carolina in the building. What part of North Carolina you in? All right? So he said hair out. Yeah. I gotta get my hair braided, man, but I had to take it out and wash it and all of that good stuff, man. All right? So, let's go and break this down. FOMC this week, okay? FOMC this week. We have an interest rate decision, okay? We got an interest rate decision. What up, Doc? How you feeling? What's up, Doria? So this week we got an interest rate decision, all right? So here's what I'm going to say first off. First things first. I'm not going to be swing trading this week. I'm just not, all right? I am going to focus on day trading and scalp trading, all right? Reason being is because if I get in a swing trade the day before FOMC or even on Monday, and I'm like, I like this setup. And then on Wednesday, the market goes the exact opposite way, I'm going to be mad, right? So I'm going to focus on maximizing my opportunities throughout the day, and I am going to close my positions by 4 p.m. Eastern. All right? I'm just letting y'all know what I'm going to do, okay? Because we could have a massive swing in the market. Now, the only way I'm going to stay in a swing trade is if I see unusual flow, right? If I see unusual flow and I see a lot of orders coming in for certain stocks over $1 million. All right? So I'm just letting you guys know what I'm going to do, what my plan is for the week overarching, right? My overarching plan, my overview. All right? I'm not going to try to swing trade because this week is going to be very volatile. So I want you guys to understand this is going to be a very volatile week. Your job as a trader is to make sure you are on the proper side of the trade. All right. So, next thing, the setups that I'm seeing on the charts this week, right? We have setups, but I want you guys to know when there's volatile weeks, we could we could reject off of resistance tomorrow, come down, and then on Wednesday or Thursday, our setup could trigger and we could blast off. Okay? So keep that in mind. So when I give you guys these levels, make sure that you guys are make sure that you guys set your alerts for the prices that I'm going to give you guys. Because just because the setup doesn't pan out on Monday does not mean that that setup is not going to go. All right? So I want you guys to know and understand that. Make sure you guys set your alerts. All right? Set your alerts for the prices that I'm going to give you guys for the week. When I'm giving you guys these setups, I'm giving it to you based on a weekly trigger. I'm looking at the weekly time frame a lot of the times. Sometimes I look at the daily to see what day it may trigger, right? But I'm looking at the weekly time frame because I want to see this week what happens. All right. So he said Elm City in North Carolina, 45 minutes from Raleigh. Okay. Small town vibes. What up, Culture? Shout out to Orlando. What's up, Angie? How you feeling? All right. So let's go to the chart, y'all, and let's go break down this week. Let's go break down what happened this week as well, okay? So, I'll move that right there. All right. So, we're going to pull up the charts. And, all right. So, we're going to go over SPY like we always do. And then we're going to go over IWM. Okay? Before we go over, let me ask you guys this. Who had a great week last week? Who had a great week in the market last week? If you had a great week in the market last week, put great week in the comments. Right? I'm just deleting some stuff off my charts right now. So, but if you had a great week in the market last week, put great week. All right? So, American Khalifa. What up, American Khalifa? How you feeling? All right. If you guys are just tuning in, say what's up in the comments. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Like this video. All right. So, let's go to SPY. Let's break this down. All right. So, SPY. All right. Best B said he had a great week. Yeah, he had what, his biggest day? You had your biggest day? Angie had a great week. Okay. All right. So, we got SPY. What's up, Joy? Happy to be here. Hoping for an amazing week. It's definitely going to be an amazing week, y'all. All right. What's up, Henry? It's definitely going to be an amazing week. Hey, we about to, yeah, Doc, you had an amazing week, man. I see what's going on over there in Doc land. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm gonna say this too, y'all. The way you spell my name is Isiah. All right. I say that with love. I know the Bible is Isaiah, but listen, my name is spelled Isiah. All right. Whenever I see my name spelled wrong, it's just the biggest pet peeve, and I just cringe, and I gotta be like, listen, this is how you spell my name. So, Isiah. All right. So let's get it. Okay. Meta reversed. Hey, Henry, you got in before meta triggered, right? You was trying to get ahead of the game, and that's why it reversed. We should have never been inputs on meta because it did not trigger the level that I said. All right. So This is the SPY, okay? This is the SPY right here, y'all. All right. So 2 weeks ago, we was down here. We had a 2-2 reversal. Okay, last week we had a crazy reversal recovery right here. And then this past week we right here, right? So yeah, so here's what I want you guys to pay attention to. All right? In this area right here, right? In this area right here, we have sellers, okay? Anytime we got above 685.86, what happened? Sellers started to push the stock down some, all right? Anytime we got above this area right here, sellers started pushing the stock down. So we have to hold this area, okay, in order to really go higher with good momentum. But for tomorrow with SPY and on the week, right? For the week, this is going to be a week's resistance. 688.41. Weekly resistance. Excuse me. All right. This is the weekly resistance right here. All right. We need to get above 688.41 so that we can go higher, right? If we get above 688.41, then we're going to come and test these all-time highs right here at 689.51. What is it? It is, yeah, 689.59. Okay, that's where all-time highs are at, 689.59. So we need to get above 688.41. If we go to the daily, we're right here, right? This is the 688.41 level. So, but look at this area right here, right? Like I said, sellers stepped in this day right here, okay? And then it pushed it down. On Friday, sellers stepped in again in this area and it pushed the stock down as well. So we closed right below the area, right? So this this isn't just support and resistance. This is, for me, what I'm seeing is, what is this area right here, y'all? Before I type it in, what is this area? Put it in the comments. What is this area? Put it in the comments. Before I type it in, I'm going to give you guys a second. I want to know what you guys think. Every time we come up in this area, we came down. What is that? What does that make this area right here? What does that make this area right here, y'all? Okay. What we got? What we got? Best B said it's almost the same setup. Selling pressure. Okay. I'm going to type it in, y'all. Okay. I'm going to type it in. It is a supply zone. Okay. Supply zone. All right. Make sure y'all remember that. Yeah, this is the area where selling pressure is at, but it's a supply zone. Okay? Because it's not just one price point, right? It's an area. It's an area, right? When you have an area where every time the stock comes up and then sellers step in and it pushes the stock down, it is a supply zone, okay? It's not showing an order block, but I'm seeing that there's a supply zone, right? Because when you look at the weekly, pay attention to where the bodies of the candles are at, right? This is very important. All right. Pay attention to where the bodies of the candles are at. The bodies, look, the stock came up here, but the body of no candle has closed above right here. So we got wicks up here and we got wicks up here. Okay? So, oh my, it froze. 1 second. It froze real quick. All right. So, like I was saying, the bodies of the candles have not got above here. And because that's the case, what that means is this is a supply zone and there's a lot of sellers in this area right here. All right. So the weekly resistance is going to be 688.41. Okay. We need to get above 688.41. Right? Excuse me. But we really need to get above and hold 685.76. Okay? What up, Sean? How you feeling? We need to get above 685.76. So we need to be able to hold 685.76. All right? When I say we need to hold 685.76, what I mean is we need to be able to maybe consolidate in this area for a day or two, right? But not just come up here and then sell off, right? Because if we come up here and we lose it and we reject, then we coming all the way down to 678. All right? So we need to be able to hold here, hold above 685.76. And if we get above 688.41, then we gonna go higher. All right. So that's what we got for SPY. Now let's look at the downside. For the downside, your weekly support is gonna be 678.69, right? So $678.69. All right. Sean, did you hit Adobe last week? Is that what you're saying? You hit Adobe last week? So this is gonna be the weekly support 678.69. All right. So your range for the SPY this week is going to be a $10 range between 678 and 688. That's your range. Okay. Make sure you got that written down. All right. That's your weekly range right there. All right. Weekly range for SPY. All right. Your weekly range, $10. All right. So to the upside, we need to be able to hold 685.76. And then if we get above 688.41, you can enter in the calls and you can take it to the upside. All right. Now, let's look at the downside. We're going to go to the daily. Okay. So we're going to say 684.61. Puts below puts let me see. My it just froze again. I got to see what's going on with my computer. All right. So we got puts. Hold on real quick. Before we continue on, if you guys are just tuning in, I want you to say what's up in the comments. Let me know where y'all tuning in from and like this video. All right. By the time we get off this live, let's make sure this video got 100 likes. All right. Like let's really make sure. Okay. Y'all know I'm going to give you levels. I'm going to give you analysis. I'm going to give you the whole game plan. All I ask for y'all is to like this video, right? So that we ain't just talking to two people. All right. The goal is to continue to grow this YouTube channel, right? And I know that we're giving valuable information and we're changing people's lives. There's people making thousands of dollars off of these watch lists. All right. So let's make sure that we like this video. Don't just come on here, watch, take, and that's it. Just like the video. All right. So, Marquin said he here for the weekly gift bags. Hey, you know how we get down. I miss when YouTube showed how long you've been live. What up, Manny? How you feeling? Shout out to Brooklyn, man. Anytime I see BK, I get excited. Shout out to Brooklyn. All right. Shout out to Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. But the whole Brooklyn for sure, man. Brooklyn is a beautiful place. So shout out to Virginia. Okay. So let's go back to SPY real quick to the downside. Okay. What's up, Angel? How you doing? So we got SPY, right? So SPY, right? Shout out to Arkansas. Lola tuning in from Arkansas. Okay, so I said SPY 684.61. 684.61. All right. We got puts below 684.61. Okay, so let me break this down, right? You got the weekly time frame, right? You got the weekly time frame. We're in the supply zone. We're in the supply zone. We're closer to the top of the range. The bottom of the range is 678. The top of the range is 688, and we're at 685. If we get above 688.41, you enter into calls, right? If we reject there and we start to come down and we get below 684.61, you enter into puts. All right? Now, if we get below that 684.61 level and you enter into puts, it's going to come to one of two places. It's going to come right here to 683.76, or it's going to come down here to 681.34. All right? So 683 or 681 is where the SPY is going to come down to if we lose the 684 level. All right? And then if we come down to 681, we could come down to 680 and then we could bounce, or 678 and we could bounce. I don't personally see the SPY coming below 678 unless something happens to force it down, right? Because we have this whole area all the way down to 670 where there's so many buyers that are active. So anywhere under 680, the buyers are going to eat up the sellers to push the SPY higher. So if we do come down, the SPY is going to get pushed up to the upside if we come below 680. Anywhere below 680, I want you guys to expect and anticipate a bounce to the upside. All right? So let me know if that makes sense on SPY. All right. Let me know if that makes sense on SPY. I just broke down the SPY for about almost 10 minutes. Okay. Making sure everybody got the game plan. So if you understand the game plan for SPY, let me know in the comments. All right. What's up, Mikey? How you feeling? Shout out to Natalie, Chi-Town. Shout out to Chicago, man. I got to come out there in the summer. I got to come out there in the summer, not the winter. All right, that's how I feel about New York too. Okay? We don't do the snow. I'm a West Coast boy. Right? I need that sun. Okay? But that's the SPY. All right? That's the SPY. Now let's go to IWM. Okay? Let's go to IWM. All right? We're going to go to the weekly first. Okay? We're going to go to the weekly. So, let's go to the weekly on IWM. All right, so IWM, right? IWM is small cap stocks. If you didn't know, because it's important to know what you're trading, right? Don't be just trading because somebody on YouTube say, hey, trade this stock. You need to know what you're trading as well. So I just want to make sure that we all understand that IWM is an index for small cap stocks. All right. Small cap stocks, right? Stocks that are not only being traded at a lower price, but also the size of the company is a lot smaller. All right. So now let's go back. All right, boom. So we got IWM, okay? So as we can see, we got this area right here, right? We got this area right here. Now let's look at IWM real quick. We came down here and we bounced, right? Now let's look what's going on. So when I'm looking at IWM and I'm zooming in some, pay attention, right? We have all-time highs are right here. We almost got new all-time highs on IWM, but we didn't get there quite yet. We rejected off of 252.70 and we came down, right? So your weekly range first. Let's go over the weekly range. All right. So the weekly range, so your weekly resistance is going to be 252.62. All right. Weekly resistance is going to be 252.62. All right. If we get above 252.62, IWM is going crazy. All right. If we get above 252.62, IWM is going crazy. All right. Now, if they come down, we got 245.10. Weekly support, 245.10. All right. So this is the first thing right here. All right. This is the first thing right here. Weekly support, 245.10. Weekly resistance, 252.62. All right. We're sitting at 250. If we get above 252.62, enter into calls and ride it to the upside. This would be creating new all-time highs. So it could go up to about 255 because that's a nice little even psychological number right there. All right. Now, this is your range. We got a $7 range right here. $7, $8 range right here. Okay. Now let's go to the daily. But look though, right? We got a 2-1 bearish reversal setup on IWM on a daily time frame. Okay. So this is the importance of your time frames. You got the weekly time frame. It looks bullish, But the daily time frame, when you understand the strat method, we could be going to the downside. So Friday was a one candle, a one bar, a consolidation day. What does it mean when a stock consolidates? Talk to me. What does it mean when a stock consolidates, y'all? Put it in the comments. If you've been following me, you've been watching my videos, you know I'm talking about the strat method. You know I'm talking about 1 bars, 2 bars, and 3 bars, right? What does it mean when a stock is on a 1 bar? Tell me. Put it in the comments. I want to make sure that you guys understand this stuff and you can regurgitate it. Because when you can regurgitate it and it makes sense to you, you're going to make a lot of money in the market. All right? Best B said, IWM is where I go when I want money. Hey, I ain't mad at that. It's a banger of a stock, man, of a asset. You know what I'm saying? ETF. So what does it mean? What does a 1 bar mean, y'all? What does a 1 bar mean? Talk to me. Talk to me. It remains within the range. Okay, that's true. What else does it mean? What else does it mean? It's a pause. Okay. Consolidating. There we go. Exactly. Whichever way it chooses, it will blast off. That's what I'm looking for right there. Okay. Exactly. Next candle should be a strong one because bulls and bears are fighting hard. This is what I'm talking about. So when you see a 2-1 setup, that next candle should be a directional candle. And if it is a directional candle, it's going to go in the direction in a very strong manner. All right? So when we have this 2-1 on IWM, right? When we have the 2-1 on IWM, look, it came up here on Thursday. It rejected it, created a liquidity grab. On Friday, it came up and it rejected on this at the same area, and then it came down again, right? And then it's consolidated. Consolidated on Friday. So what do we got? Now we have a 2-1 bearish reversal setup if this thing triggers right here. All right? So here's what I want you guys to pay attention to. I want you guys to pay attention to. We got 2 levels of support. That's going to be important. All right? 2 support levels. All right? The first one, we got 250.28. All right? 250.28 is going to be support 1. S1. All right? Your next level is going to be 250. We're going to say 249.86. All right? This is what you're going to want to pay attention to right here. All right? 250.28 and then 249.86. All right? We got a fair value gap right here. So we could, right? So this is how you really got to start to understand it, right? This could come down to 249.86 into this fair value gap and bounce and then go higher, right? Or it could just create a 2 down and really come down all the way down to 248.50. If we lose 249.86, then we should be coming down to 248.53. All right? This is what I'm seeing. But if we come down to 249.86 and we bounce, then we're most likely going to bounce and then come up. And then on the week, we'll create a 2-up candle because we'll break above here and go higher. All right? Now, if we choose to continue to come a little lower, we could come down to 247 or 248, and then we could bounce down here as well. Because this is right here, area of liquidity. Okay? Area of liquidity. And then we also have another area of liquidity. Okay? We got two areas of liquidity that IWM could come down to, so that way it could get liquidity and it could bounce and it could go higher to the upside. Let me know if y'all following what I'm saying. Let me know if you guys are tracking. All right? Let me know. So we got a 212 bearish reversal setup on the daily time frame. So I'm thinking we probably gonna come down to 249.86, or we're gonna come down to this fair value gap right here at 248, and then we're gonna bounce, and then we're gonna go higher. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense, y'all. Yvonne Marlowe, she said, don't trade on the one. Exactly. All right. Do not trade on the one candle. So if you see a stock is on a one candle on the daily time frame, don't take the trade if you're looking to swing trade it, right? Or if you're looking to day trade it as well, because what that means is you are going to burn your premiums and that move is not going to be strong. Okay? So yeah, good one, Yvonne, right? Don't trade on the one candle. That's what the one candle means. Okay? What up, Stefan? How you feeling? Shout out to AZ. Shout out to Phoenix. All right? Shout out to everybody tuning in. If you guys are tuning in and you haven't already, like this video. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel and let me know in the comments where you guys are tuning in from. We just went over SPY and we went over IWM in great detail, right? In great detail. So you guys should be fully ready for SPY and IWM tomorrow, right? You should be fully ready. Now I'm going to give you guys my setups for individual stocks, all right? But we had to really go deep because every week's setups, the market is going to be different every single week. Some weeks I may need to spend more time on the analysis of the indexes, right, than I do the individual stocks because we might have a lot going on in the indexes. Sometimes the setups on the indexes are so simple, I could be like, all right, y'all, calls above this, we got cleared to the upside, right? But other times I may really have to go deep into different time frames and break things down. So we got to really make sure we understand what's really going on. We don't just get on the charts and be like, okay, calls above this and that's it. It don't work like that, right? I'm not trying to put y'all in a bad position, a bad situation in a trade. So we got to make sure that we're paying great attention to detail, right? Trading, one of the things trading is about is attention to detail. Attention to detail. All right? That's something that the military taught me too. Attention to detail. All right? Don't be reckless with your analysis because your gains is not going to be what you want them to be. All right? So pay great attention to detail and spend the extra time on the charts that you need to so that you can see what's going on if you have to. All right? So now we're going to get into the setups for next week and how last week performed. All right? So make sure y'all stick with me. I'm going to give you guys everything that y'all came here for, but I like to make sure that I'm clear, I'm concise, and I'm thorough in my delivery so that you guys can get this information as clear as possible on a silver platter so you guys could make money, right? My goal is to make trading as simple as possible and take away all the guesswork, all right? So I'm going to say also, none of this is financial advice. If you want professional financial advice, be sure to go see a financial advisor who is licensed in your area. All right. So now let's go look at what happened on the watch list. Okay. So let's see. So I'm pulling this up right here. All right. So what's up, Kello? Kello Kales? How you feeling? How you feeling? All right, y'all. So last week, what did I say? Right here, I said AMD. I said AMD calls above 218.33, right? Let's see what AMD did. AMD this was on Tuesday. Calls above 218. This was on Monday. On Monday, we closed above 218. On Tuesday, we went all the way up here to 225. All right. So if you would have got in this day or even swung it on this day, you would have caught like a $6 move right here. All right. AMD to me was a little trash last week, but nonetheless, the setup did what it did, and it did come here. It does have a ways to go back to the upside, but that's what AMD did last week, okay? Next one I said OKLO, right? I did a whole video about this breakdown, all right? I did a whole video about this breakdown, so let's just go to OKLO real quick. I said calls above 94.65. Look what OKLO did. Where is 94.65 at? 94.65 is at right here. Yeah, 94, yep. So calls above here is what I said. And then look what happened. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, right? If y'all would have caught this, you would be in Barbados right now. All right? Y'all would be in Spain right now. All right? So listen, pay attention to these setups because they hit. All right? And then what else did I say? I said VRT. Okay? VRT. I said calls above 180.57. What did VRT do? So calls above it, and I said we could go to 202. Last week, this was on Tuesday. So on Monday, we got here. So last week, above 180. We got above 180. And where did they go? They came all the way up to 189. All right. So this one hit pretty nice as well. I didn't even take VRT. I ain't gonna lie to you, but it did what it did. And it made somebody some money. I don't know who it made, but somebody took my stuff. All right, and they hit with it. So last week, my watch list went 3 for 3. All right. I show you guys my previous week's numbers and performance so you guys can see and understand that we don't miss. All right. I don't miss. All right. Market is going to do what it do sometimes, and some setups aren't going to go as planned. But I'm telling you guys, if you follow these setups and you understand what I'm telling you, you understand the strat method, you can change your life. All right. So last week we went crazy. Okay. Yvonne said, what are most common combos that you use? I use failed 2 downs and I use 1 candles. Those are my favorites. All right. What I'm also going to say is, y'all, if you have not, be sure to join the Discord. We got a whole course in there where I break down the whole strat. All right. And then we have a lot more stuff in there as well. But if you want to learn how to trade the strat method and you want to understand order blocks and all these other things, be sure to join the Discord, and we going to increase your understanding, and your understanding is going to increase your pockets. All right. Yep. OKL look nice. If I would have gotten into that, you would have changed your life. All right. Yeah, it's going to come back down. I did call Carvana. Yep. I caught that on the week. All right. And that's why y'all want to make sure y'all tune in on the weekly lives as well. Because the weekly lives, I'm also calling trades for the next day as well. All right. So, man, don't miss out on this stuff, y'all. This is life-changing stuff here. All right. So this week, all right, what setups am I looking at this week? All right, let's break it down. I got some setups for you guys. I got one that I'm really excited about. I've been watching this for about 3 weeks to a month now. So let me pull it up. All right. So my first setup for this week, y'all. Yeah, come on, Kello. Let's make it happen. All right, let's get it. So here we go. I'm not sure yet, Potato. Let me show you my watch list and then we could go over some stuff. But that's a very interesting username, man. Potato. What up, Potato? I love seeing y'all's usernames, man. Yeah, Oracle and AVGO, they have earnings this week. I don't know if Oracle is gonna like go crazy on earnings this quarter again, because that would be the third quarter that it went crazy. All right, so we gotta see. But AVGO might go crazy on earnings. But let's look at this next setup. The first setup for this week. Okay. So the first setup for this week, I got ANET. All right. This is a cybersecurity company right here. All right, it's a data company. So let's look at this right here. Let's go to the chart. Okay. And we're gonna type in ANET. All right. So let me see what y'all saying in the comments first before I break this down. All right. Yeah, hit the like button. All right. If you guys have not, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I bring you guys daily videos every single day, y'all. All right. Every single day, I'm bringing you a video. Throughout the week, I go live in the evening times and I'm breaking down the market and we going over plays. I do a live charting every single day in the evening time. All right. So be sure to you guys tune in, you tap into that. All right. Marquin said, if you are on the fence, trust me, you want to join. The Discord ain't nothing like it around. Hey, he said on God. That's a big statement right there, man. So y'all better tune in. Y'all better come tap in because there's a lot of money being made on a daily. We got people cracking 5, 8K a day. All right. So let's go to ANET. All right. We got ANET on deck. Now look at this, y'all. On the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame. Look at this, y'all. We got a double inside candle on the weekly time frame, okay? So what does this mean? What this means is it's consolidating for 2 weeks. All right? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. If a stock is consolidating for 2 weeks, I just want you to understand what type of move that it could make. All right? When we've had one kind of weeks, look, one candle right here, got above it, blasted off. This week it didn't do much. After one candle right here, blasted off. All right. So we got a double inside week right here. All right. A double inside week right here. So because this candle was bullish and then we got buying pressure on this candle right here. All right. I want you guys to see this setup. And what we're going to do is we're going to enter in the calls above 131.39. Okay. Calls above 131.39. All right. Calls above 131.39 and look at where we could come up to. So first point of business, I would say we could come up to 136.85. If we get above 136.85, right, we could really be coming up here to 146. All right, 145, 146. Okay, so calls above 131.39. Right, double inside weeks on the weekly time frame. We're at 128.59 right now. Okay, so yeah, let me know if that makes sense, y'all. Let me know if that makes sense. I'm giving you guys the whole game plan, the whole setup. I'm telling you guys why I think this is a good setup and what I see. All right, ain't nobody doing that, man. All right, so be sure to let me know if ANET makes sense. I'm not telling you guys what to do, when to get in. All I'm doing is sharing with y'all what I'm seeing on the charts based off of my studies and what I've been seeing and what I know works. All right. Mike said 100 folks watching the slide, 63 likes. Yeah. Tap that like. All right, y'all. When it closes on a daily, Zay. Yeah. So you wanted to close above that level on a daily time frame. Okay. And let me say this too. Let's say that ANET closes at 137, right? Tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow it goes all the way up here, right? And then it closes right here. I would not enter in yet. I would wait for it to come down here to retest, and then I would enter the next day, and then I would enter in and let it ride up. Okay? So yeah, that's what I would do. Okay? So we gonna definitely see. But above here is called. So you could also day trade it as well. Okay? You could also day trade it as well. So if it gets above 131, you could get in above 131, ride it up to 135, and then you could take profits and then see what happens after that. All right? So let me know if that makes sense. He said ANET is a liquidity grab to 135 before it falls off a cliff. We gonna see, right? I love when everybody be having their biases. That's what I like about the stock market and trading, because you know you and me could be right at the same time, Bag Boy Billy, right? Because look, if I take a call and I trade them on Monday and they get above 131, I could go make 2 racks. They could go up to 135 and then they could reject and then they could come down, right? And then you could take your shorts and then you could make your money, right? So it's like both things could be right at the same time, right? But because we're on a double inside candle, then I'm gonna take that, but only if we get above that 130, 139, right? And obviously on the weekly, right? And this is why I show you guys my charts and I break it down the way I do, because, right? Watch this. So look, this is a fair value gap. What do we call fair value gaps, y'all? What do we call fair value gaps? What did I say earlier about SPY and IWM? Area of liquidity, right? Area of liquidity, okay? So let's see if we see any areas of liquidity on a daily. We got an area of liquidity on a daily at about 137 to 139, okay? So we could break above here, come up to 137, 139, and then we can reject, and then we could come down lower. All right? So, or the weekly, right? We could go higher. We could go higher to about 145. All right? So those are areas of liquidity, okay? So, Skechers, right price, bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get, exactly, right? Like at the end of the day, I am a trader. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my money, I'm gonna get in a trade, I'm gonna get my money, and I'm gonna get out, right? Bulls and bears are both gonna make money. The pig is gonna get slaughtered, right? This is why I tell you guys, when you are in a trade and you see what's going on and you see some profit, I'm not saying you see 2% and take profit. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you gotta know what you guys are trading. If you know what you're trading, you are going to be able to make money. And I also know that it's about the consistency. All right. You may make, it's not about trying to make $18,000 in one trade, right? Go make $1,000 in 18 trades. That's how you get sustainability, right? That's how you really get to the money. Okay, what's up, Adam? How you feeling? Is that your strike price? Liquidity. So to wrap up what you said, calls above 130, 139. Wait for close on a daily. If it closes at 137, wait for a retest down. And exactly. That's a break and retest, Zay. Exactly. All right. So that's ANET. That's what I see on ANET because we got a double inside candle. Okay. I didn't see a lot of setups on the charts this week, and that the reason is because we have FOMC this week as well. So to recap what I said at the beginning of this video, I'm gonna focus on day trades, and I'm not gonna be focused on swing trading this week because we have FOMC. We don't know what's gonna happen fully, right? We do have an interest rate decision. It is also December. It is the end of the year. So I'm going to be focused on day trading and not swing trading because it's going to be a crazy week and I don't want nothing crazy to happen. I don't want to get into a trade and then it looks perfect and then it doesn't go where it's supposed to go and then I'm down 80%. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to be focusing on day trading this week, right? So yeah. So even on the setups that I'm seeing, I'm going to just wait until the market opens. And then if it does trigger, that's when I'm going to take my entries. So I'm not going to try to benefit from gap up and gap downs this week. That's what I'm saying, right? I know what my levels are. I know where my areas of liquidity are. So it's like I'm going to wait until the market opens and then I'm going to take my entries based off of that. All right, that's how I'm going to do it. Everybody going to do it a little bit differently, okay? So let's go to the next setup, okay? Let's go to the next setup. You say FOMC Wednesday, I believe so. It's usually on Wednesdays. Let's see, economic calendar. Economic calendar, U.S. economic calendar right here, just to make sure it's gonna be on Wednesday, right? So look, we got FOMC right here on Wednesday. Right, on Wednesday, we got interest rate decision, okay? And it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern, all right? We got employment cost. We got initial job claims on Thursday as well, okay? So we got a lot going on this week. We got job openings delayed report tomorrow on Tuesday at 10 a.m. as well, okay? So yeah, all right? So now the next setup that I see for this week, this one is a very simple one, but it's like this is an old faithful. All right, I've been trading this stock all year, and I've been investing into them all year. So I'll look at Dollar Tree in a minute. So we got Google. Okay, Google, my favorite stock. This has been my favorite stock all year. I use Google every day on YouTube. So do you guys. Obviously, they're getting big into AI as well. And then Warren Buffett invested in them also when they were at about 285, 290. So Google, I'm bullish on Google. Okay, so let's go to their chart. Okay, so we got Google right here. Okay. All right, so we got on the weekly time frame, right? We got a 212 setup. All right, they just bounced off of this area of liquidity right here last week. So we got a 212 setup right here. Okay, so very simple. All right, calls above 323.27, right? And that's going to be the high of this bullish one candle right here. All right, so the high of this bullish one candle right here. And then look what happened. If we get above 323.17, then we're going to be coming up to 328.87. All right. We're going to, and if we could take out this high of this candle, that's going to be more all-time highs. Those all-time highs, that could drive this thing up to 330 and even 335. Okay. When we're at all-time highs, I like to use round numbers. So if we're at all-time highs and we're at 203, I'm going to think 205 is the next level because that's a psychological even number. Not an even number, but it's a round number, right? 205, 210, 220, right? Numbers like that. So calls above 323.27. Price target would be 328.87, which is the high of the previous week's candle right there. All right, so if we get above here, then we're going to pop up and we're going to come up $5. And that $5 move, it could change your life. All right. So let me know if that makes sense on Google, y'all. This is a very simple trade. All this is right here, all this is right here, I'm gonna break it down for you, right? Bullish 212 continuation. All right. This is a bullish 212 continuation. Okay. A bullish 212 continuation. It bounced off of this area of liquidity last week, right? So, and then it pushed up. So bullish 212 continuation for Google based on the strat method. All right. Let me know if that makes sense. Okay. When it comes to your entry, do you wait for the 5 to close? I'm not using the 5 minute at all, for real. Take the entry and then get out. Or getting out, close below the same. I don't really know. When it comes to your entry, do you wait for the 5 to close? Oh, then take entry, then watch for getting out of closing below? No. So whenever, number one, I'm not trading on the 5 minute time frame, but when a candle does close, I wait to see if it's going to pull back first and then shoot up. So if I see the stock, whenever a candle closes, sometimes it does just go continue in a direction, but a lot of times, depending on if there was an area of liquidity that was created, it's going to come down first and then it'll pop up and go higher. Or if you're looking at puts, it'll go up and then it'll come down, right? So you got to know your areas of liquidity. That's one of the biggest things I've learned in trading is you have to know where a stock can go to before it goes down or before it goes up. So you need to know your areas of liquidity. You need to know your levels as well. All right. Sell all tops. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right. Like if you are in a trade or you got stocks, whatever, and we're at all-time highs, I would not be buying into anything. This is also why I like trading and I love trading, because we could trade when stocks are at all-time highs and we could make a killing. And then when it starts to trend down to the downside, then we could, trade puts as well. Okay. So $5 on Google. Exactly. Right. $5 on Google, $5 on any stock for real is good money, right? Especially if you're trading weekly contracts. This is another thing that people do, right? They'll trade, like when people don't know really what they're doing fully, they'll get a contract 4 months out, and then the stock will make a nice move and they'll only make 20-30% when they could have made 150% trading weeklies, right? That's why I say the more you study, the less you worry. Because when you get to a level where you can trade weekly contracts on a Tuesday, and you could trade those weekly contracts and you could swing it and you could go make 300%, right? So I'm like, listen, the more you study, the less you worry, y'all. All right. So the weekly candle on the left is bigger than the body. So how was that bullish? Listen, I trade the strat, bro. Right? Like I trade the strat. That's a 212 bullish setup. Simple as that, right? 212 bullish continuation. It's simple as that. That's how it's bullish. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't trade the strat, then you're not fully going to rock with what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? If we get above the high of the one candle, then it's going to go higher, right? I've traded this setup a million times. I've helped people make money a million times, right? So it's like, if you don't trade the strat, then it's all good, okay? You are basing the last two based on the green outline. What you mean? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Angel. But it's just, so you got a bullish one bar and you have a bearish one bar, right? I'm looking at the high of the previous candle. That's it, right? I'm just looking at the high of the previous candle. So above the high of that one candle, because it's a bullish candle, then it's going to the upside, right? Now, if we do break below the low of the previous candle, then just take puts and just ride it to the downside. You see what I'm saying? So that's the power of a one candle, right? You can have a bullish one candle and then you can have a big move to the downside. You can have a bearish one candle. You can have a big move to the upside. The focus is understand the power of consolidation, right? The power of consolidation. When you know that a stock has been consolidating and it shows it on a one candle, when it breaks above or below, it's going to make a big move. This is why I simplify trading, right? Because there's a lot of technicalities that I feel like a lot of people try to focus on, and some of these things don't matter. At the end of the day, if you see a one candle and it breaks below or above the previous one candle's high or low, take entry. That's how I look at it. That's how I simplify these things, because I don't try to get too caught up in every single technical aspect, right? Above the high, below the low, take entry, make your money, go on about your life. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how I like to look at the stuff. All right. XRR and silver, invest heavy. Okay. Tesla's looking bullish. We'll see what's up with Tesla in a minute. If you guys are just tuning in, man, be sure to like this video. All right, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Every single day I'm bringing you guys bangers. All right, legit bangers. So what else we got? You're basing the wick is, in the body. Cause all right, so let's look at this, right? Let me give you guys an example from last week that I called, okay? Last week. It looked very similar to this right here. Let's look at this right here, y'all. Let's look at Intel, okay? Y'all see Intel? Yeah. All right, let's look at Intel. This is on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. All right. Look at this right here, okay? This right here last week, this was on Monday, okay? On Monday, they consolidated after they blasted off right here, right? Monday, they blasted off. Friday, they blasted off. Monday, they consolidated, right? This is the same exact setup. And look what happened. They blasted off on Tuesday, right? And we caught this move in the Discord. People got 60, 80% on this move right here. And all it was the same exact setup as Google, right? Let's go look at it. Let's go look at it, right? We got here, and then we got Google, okay? We got here and we got Google, okay? So let's go pull it up real quick. So we got Google. Come on now. So I'm gonna show you guys, right? And we go to the weekly time frame. All right, so look at this right here. Look at this. All right, so look at this setup. And I want y'all to look at the Intel setup. Okay? Look. It's the same exact setup, y'all. It's literally the same exact setup. We got a 2, a 1, and then the next day is a 2. The next candle, the next session is a 2. This is a 2-1-2 bullish continuation setup, right? Same exact setup. Intel just did it last week, right? Intel just did it last week. Made people money with this setup. Google has the same exact setup right here, okay? And then furthermore, watch this. Furthermore, watch this. Let's go to the daily on Google. Okay? Look at this. Look, a failed 2 up. So this is a failed 2 up candle, a 1 candle, and then look what happened. Gap up, blast off. Right? Let's go to another one. A 2 and then a 1 candle, failed 2 down, and then it pushed up a couple days later. Okay? A 1 candle right here, right? Failed 2 up, 1 candle, blast off. Okay? So this setup that I'm seeing on Google on the weekly, right? If we get above there, it's going to do the same exact thing that it's been doing, right? Do we have any 1 candles on the weekly? Not really, right? Kind of. Well, we got a couple, right? Boom, we got a 1 candle right here. The next week it came down and then it pumped up. We got a 1 candle here, and then 2 weeks went by and then it blasted off there. So yeah, that's why I'm saying wait for it to trigger, right? Wait for it to trigger. If we get above the high of right here, you take entry and then you ride it to the upside. All right. So let me know if that makes sense, y'all. Let me know if that makes sense. All right. Let me know if that makes sense. A lot going on in the background. Don't worry about that, right? Just focus on what I'm saying. You feel what I'm saying? Just focus on what we got going on right here. Because there's a lot going on right here too. You see what I'm saying? It's money. This is a money conversation right here. Okay. So go in the direction of the counter. Exactly. Exactly, right? Yeah, keep it simple. He said Intel had me sweating this week. Yeah, is the screen froze? My bad, y'all. Screen was frozen. Um, my bad. So what I'm saying is, right? So this is Google, okay? So this is Google. So watch this. I'm gonna do it one more time. We got Google and we got Intel. All right. So watch this. Where's Intel at? INTC. See. All right. So here we go, right? So watch this. So this is Intel. This is on a daily, right? This is on a daily time frame. Okay? So we got Intel on a daily time frame right here, right? We got Google on a weekly time frame right here, right? We got a one candle here and we got a one candle right here. And look what happened. It broke above the high. It actually gapped up. It came down slightly to fill the gap and then it pushed up, right? And then it pushed all the way up. Now look at this, same exact setup right here, okay? A 2-1 right here, a break above here, take entry and you ride it to the upside. Okay? That's how you get down. All right. And listen, let me say something too, y'all, right? I buy shares of stocks, but I like to short-term trade. Okay? So a lot of times people be like, oh, so Bag Boy Billy, right? He said, I don't see Intel holding at $40. I personally don't care. You see what I'm saying? The reason why I don't care is because I could get in and out of a trade in 20 to 30 minutes. So I don't care if it holds the $40 level because when I was in a trade, it went up. You see what I'm saying? I don't care if the stock if the stock ain't profitable. If I'm not investing into the stock, right, long term, and I'm okay to trade it, that's what I'm gonna do. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I don't care. I'm a short-term options trader. I used to think that you can't make no real money being short-term minded, right? But here's a myth. You can. Because people that I have learned from, some of the best traders that I've learned from, they trade short-term options daily. They trade weekly contracts only, right? This is a myth. So if I want to buy shares of Intel, I'm not buying at no $40. They was under $25 for like 3 years, right? They're way too overvalued to buy in right now. But if you want to trade options, if you could read price action off of the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame, you could make a crazy bag, right? So I personally don't care if Intel is going to hold, right? I don't care if Google blasts off to 330 tomorrow and then on Tuesday it goes down to 290. All I'm going to do is trade it to the upside on Monday, and on Tuesday I'm going to see a rejection and I'm going to trade it to the downside, right? So it's like I don't really care about like certain things because I'm focusing on price action. I'm not trying to make it in my mind, okay, I don't think that this is going to hold this level, so I'm not going to trade that. No, I trade the strat, right? The strat has revolutionized my life, my trading, and a lot of people's trading inside of the Discord too. People can vouch that they have literally had their biggest trades because of the strat method, right? These are actual facts, right? So yeah, y'all, like I like to short-term trade and then invest long-term. And when stocks are at a discount, I'll get into some longer-term swings. I like to keep things simple, right? She said, can we do a weekly swing on Google? So me personally, I would get a weekly contract to day trade it or scalp trade it, but I wouldn't hold it for too long because like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not going to be swinging anything this week because we got FOMC. We got FOMC coming up, right? So I'm not going to hold anything overnight this week. Once the dust settles after FOMC, I will be willing to hold things, but I'm not going to hold them this week. Right? So if Google gets above 323.27, right, I will trade it. I may be in it for 10 minutes, right? I may hit 20, 30, 40%, and then I'll walk away and I'll be done. And if it goes up and I see it reject, then I'm going to get in the put and I'm going to write it down if I'm paying attention to it at the time, right? But also, I want you guys to understand there are millions and millions and millions of setups every single day. You can't catch them all, so you got to find some solid ones that you see, and then you just play them like that. All right? So, I got one more setup, right? I know this is a little bit longer than usual, y'all, right? So bear with me, okay? Eli Lilly puts for the last month. Oh yeah, Eli Lilly was pumping crazy. A couple weeks ago? Let me see, or maybe last month it was. But yeah, App. Hold on, no, App is. Oh, Eli Lilly is come down straight. Dang, that's crazy. That's a change of character right here. Yeah, that's crazy. They went, but they had earnings, I believe, and then they went silly. Something happened with some news or something. But yeah, Eli Lilly is definitely coming down. They coming down crazy. I'm looking at their chart right now. Yeah, trade the news. Yep. App Lovin on the call. Yeah, App Lovin went silly last week. I called App Lovin last week on a live. Not on Sunday, but during the week. All right. If you guys are just tuning in, man, be sure to like this video. Also say what's up in the comments. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. All right. I'm gonna give you guys my last setup for the week as well. Okay. So be sure to stick with me. We got the last setup right here. Yeah, the rate cut is on deck. He said Lily gave it all back. Exactly. Came right back down. All right. So let's go to SoundHound. Let's go to SoundHound real quick. This is my last setup for the week. All right, so we got SoundHound right here. All right. Now look at this risk to reward right here, okay? So we're gonna go to SoundHound, right? And this is a great stock if if you guys want to if you guys have a smaller account, because these contracts are very cheap. What's up, Eleanor? These contracts are very cheap, okay? So on a daily, once again, we got a 212. All right? We got a 212. All right? And then on the weekly, right? Look at the weekly though. We got a 3-bar. All right? So after this 3-bar is usually a 2-up, okay? So, and we have all this room to go right here, right? We have all this room to go right here, okay? So look on SoundHound, right? So very simply put, if we get above this $12.99 level, this $13 level, you can enter in the calls. Now, I did put right here a rejection point, right? The rejection point is at 1346, right? 1346. So we could break above $13 and come up to 1346, and then we could reject. And then this could create a failed 2-up, right? Because this could be an area of liquidity before we do come down lower, right? Back down to this order block right here. But if we can get above 1346, man, we could come all the way up to about $15, $16. All right. Now, if you look at the daily, we are on a 212. Okay, a 2-1, right? So if we get above, once again, $13, that would be a 212 bullish continuation, and then we could come up. All right. Now we do have like this area right here at 1317 on a daily time frame that you want to pay attention to, right? And then we could come up here as well at 14 and reject. But if you get in above $13, and let's say it comes up to 1347 on the weekly contracts, you can make a lot of money on SoundHound. Okay. So, so I like that setup as well. Okay. I like that setup as well. All right. Short on SoundHound. Well, yeah, go ahead and short him, bro. Right. Go do your thing, bag boy. Right. Go ahead. And I'm gonna go to your channel too, and I'm gonna watch all of your videos. I'm gonna watch the daily videos you put out as well. Okay. So, don't forget. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's look at Dollar Tree. He said what indicator I'm using. I use the Strat Assistant, right? Because I use order blocks and I use the strat method, right? That's how I trade. Order blocks and the strat method. Okay. So, yeah, let's look at real quick Dollar Tree. I know Tesla looks bullish as well. I saw their chart. I just didn't like the setups. Me personally, so here's the thing, right? I don't like entering into trades after we've already had a run up, because it's more likely that the stock is going to pull back first, depending on what the stock is, if there's a lot of flow and stuff like that. I like to try to get in on trades at the beginning of the move or right after it has started, because it has more momentum, right? I made a video about the cycles, right? You got the accumulation phase, then you got the public participation, then you got the distribution phase, right? So I always try to enter in either at accumulation phase or right after we break out of the accumulation phase and we start making a move to the upside or the downside, right? I try not to get in before a confirmation has happened, because that could be a fake breakout as well. Okay? So so yeah. So let's go to Dollar Tree real quick. DOTR. All right. And here's the beautiful thing, right? The beautiful thing is about all of these setups. If you see a level, if I say calls above $105, if you see the stock go to $105 and then it doesn't go any higher and it starts to come down, you could just get into puts, right? Like, you got to learn how to think for yourself as a trader. So if you see that it's not getting above the level I said, that means that it's not time. Enter into puts and you can write it down, right? And here's the beautiful part too about trading. And anything that I say, I could be wrong, right? God forbid somebody on YouTube is wrong about something, right? So I could be, there is a possibility that everything that I say, I could be wrong. But what I want you guys to understand is that I am basing this stuff off of things that have already been back tested, and I back test the shit out of what I'm looking at, right? And also, if I'm wrong, I am okay with that. You know why? Because I don't have an ego to the point where I feel like I have to be right about everything. I don't have an ego to the point where, oh yeah, everything I say is right. I'm confident in what I say. I'm confident in what I'm looking at, but my ego is not telling me I gotta be right. Right? So if you hear a level, right, and it's not getting above that, just take puts and ride it to the downside. That's all you got to do. But a lot of my levels and a lot of my plays, they hit, right? They really hit. There are people on these lives that have joined the Discord, right? Look at Mark Quinn. When I call OKLO, not this week, the first time back in September, that made him a believer, because I said, okay, LO is going to break out. It's going to, once it gets above $85, that week it went up to 140, right? A lot of my setups, they hit. A lot of my setups hit. Am I perfect? No. But what I want you to do is, I want you to, this is why I show you guys what my watch list did last week. This is why, because when people start coming saying that ain't gonna happen, nope, blah, 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 right? I just say, hey, go watch the 85 live videos that I've done. Go watch everything that I've done. Go watch all of my videos, and I want you to back test the setups that I caught and what the stocks did. Right? Just think about that. It ain't no upsetting, right? It's just I know I just know what be happening. Okay. And I like to clarify things as well. So if you guys see a level, it's about learning and understanding how to trade. If it rejects off of that level, just get in the puts. If it breaks above, then get in the calls, right? And I don't like calling puts, like put swings, publicly too much, because the market is biased and it's designed to go to the upside. So the only way I'm gonna call a put publicly is if like it's like super obvious, or we got like 4 or 5 confluences. Besides that, I'm gonna always be looking at calls, like trades that are going to the upside, because the market is biased and it's designed to go to the upside. All right. So yeah, LEU, big bangers. That was one of my big bangers too. Yep. What's up, Black Pearl? How you feeling? Right. I am doing guys because you got lots of people. Yeah. Okay. Well, do your thing, bag boy. All right, do your thing. The trolling is gonna come with, yeah. No, you right, Brittany, for sure. I'm about to eat. I'm hungry too. Yeah. So listen, y'all. So we got Google, we got SoundHound, and then we got ANET. All right. Now, if we look at Dollar Tree right here, let me see on the daily. Let me go to the monthly real quick. Okay, so if we go to the monthly time frame, we're on a 2-up candle already on the month. We got an order block up here to 146. So we could be coming up to 146 right here. We do just have to see. Okay. Now we got to close above 123.60 though. All right. Once we close above 123.60, then Dollar Tree should definitely be coming up to the upside. Okay. Now pay attention to Dollar Tree because it does have like a little bit wide spreads. Okay, so just be careful with them because their spreads are a little bit wide. All right. So yeah, that's just how it be. One Path, appreciate that. Yeah, tap in. We do this every single day. All right. Just look at previous watch lists. Exactly. So yeah, we gonna go crazy this week, y'all. All right. Make sure you guys, like I always say, what do I always preach? Risk management, right? Don't over leverage. All right. Don't over leverage and all of that stuff. Make sure you guys are managing your risk and everything, and y'all will be fine. All right. Thanks for the wisdom. I appreciate that. That most definitely. It's a lot of people in here that have changed their life, is changing their life, and have made a lot of money off of these call outs. All right, and these analysis and all of that stuff. So we ain't gonna give too much energy to the people that have bad things, because I know that this whole journey this year, y'all been showing a lot of love, and that's what we're gonna choose to continue to focus on. All right. So that's what I say about the Dollar Tree. Just trying to get better at my entries when the stock breaks above a level. You call to get in the calls right when it breaks, or do we switch to a different time frame? Entering. Yeah, so the biggest thing is you just have to know, are you swing trading it or are you day trading it? If it gets above a level and it's 6:45 a.m. on the West Coast, if the market been open 15 minutes and it breaks above that level and it closes above that level, then you could take an entry off the 15-minute time frame. The key is, y'all, you just got to understand the levels, right? You got to understand the levels. You got to understand what you're doing. And I try my hardest every single day to help you guys understand this stuff on a very deep level. All right. So like I always say, go watch my YouTube videos if you haven't. Any question you have, type my name in, spell it right, and then also type the thing in. Right? So if it's price action, type my name in price action and a video should pop up. Okay. You could also book a one-on-one and you could also join the Discord. And we got a whole course inside of the Discord. And what that's going to do is that's going to really, really, really allow you to understand this stuff on a deep level. All right. So, chose everywhere. Selling pressure, URL. Shout out to Houston, man. What up, the one and only? Yeah, watch it from the beginning. All right. What else we got? Dollar Tree is a sympathy play from Dollar General. Yeah, Dollar General. Dollar General and Dollar Tree, they both went crazy because Dollar General had earnings. Dollar General's their spreads are horrendous, so they have to make big moves in order for a trade to be worth it. Because their spreads are horrendous, I must say. All right. So yeah. So what's the numbers indicator? The strat assistant, right? The strat assistant. Listen, you said it's your first time. Okay. Appreciate that, Manny. Yeah, first time. So I use a strat assistant, and that is the strat method. Okay, the strat method is a trading strategy, right? It was made by Rob Smith. I have videos and I have a playlist on my channel for the strat method. All right. The strat method has revolutionized how I trade. It's made me way more money and it's helped me get bigger percentages per trade. All right. So go tap into the strat method. All right. And then also watch my strat videos on the channel as well. Okay. So yeah, that's what the numbers are. All right. Yeah, Reggie, you late. We've been on here for an hour and a half. I didn't even mean to be on here an hour and a half either, but you know what I'm saying? That's how you know you're on your way when you got motion. Yeah, real talk, Best B. That's how it is. All right. But all is well. Hey, listen, y'all. I appreciate everybody tapping in and tuning in for real. I appreciate all the new subscribers. I come to you every single day and we gonna call out some bangers. I'm gonna help you guys understand how to actually trade as well. And all y'all gonna be making money with or without me. Cause y'all already know, what do I always say? I never want anybody to depend on me. I want you guys to understand this stuff for yourself so you can teach it to your family and all your loved ones as well. All right. So y'all already know we do this every single day. Do you have a video on how to choose options? Yep, I got that. I got a live. Y'all don't even, well, some of you guys know. This year, I think I did about 3 different times where I did a week full of an options boot camp. All right. I did a live boot camp for free on YouTube. I did live videos. I did that about 3 different times throughout this year. Okay. And so we talked about choosing options in the money contracts, out of the money contracts, all of that stuff. If you guys are new to the channel, please understand that just go to my YouTube channel and I want you to go look at all of the videos and all of the live videos. Okay. The video uploads and the live streams. I have over 400 pieces of content over 40 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour and a half, breaking this stuff down. All right. Breaking this stuff down. Okay. So yeah. And do you have videos? Will I be able to watch the replay? Absolutely. You could watch this replay. You could watch all my other live replays. Everything is uploaded on YouTube and it's there for you guys to consume. Okay? Like seriously. So, anybody new, I appreciate you tapping in. Join the Discord, book a one-on-one. Watch all the videos that I give you guys for free, right? You could literally change your life for free on my YouTube channel because I don't gatekeep and I don't hold nothing back. All right? I'm going to give you guys the game, but I can't hold your hand. All right. So like I always say, make sure you get up out your head, go get into this world because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right. And also remember, y'all, and I want y'all to say it with me for all my OGs, man. The more you study, the less you worry. All right. I appreciate that, Mr. Colorado. I'm going to holler at you later. All right. You guys have a great day. Y'all have a great Sunday. Y'all have a great night as well. All right. All of y'all stay smooth, and I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.